Hey everybody, today is Thursday. It is November the 3rd, and I will be leaving this evening to go to Hearts at Home. And I think I read in some of the comments where I'll get the opportunity to meet a few of you, and I'm excited about that. So please don't be insulted if I don't know right away who you are, because there are more of you than there are of me. But please know I will be completely and utterly delighted to put my arms around you and give you a big old squeeze. Southern hug. Our memory verse is Galatians 2:20. My old self has been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. So I live in this earthly body, trusting the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself up for me. That's a long verse. I said it's almost like two verses together, but it's very, very powerful, and I look forward to us putting that to memory, as well as next year learning more verses. I really didn't have a power pack like message today. Just a couple things I observed. Of course, like all of you are, and I read in your comments that it's just hard each time we read this to get to the point where Christ is going to die, and the betrayal that he receives. So I just kind of picked a couple things out that just stood out to me. And I may have made this comment last year. I'm not sure. I can go back and check my notes. But it always amazes me that Jesus never defends himself. Even when he does answer Herod or Pilate or Caiaphas, he never defends himself. He just answers with authority. And he doesn't see it necessary to defend who he is. And so many times, I jump to defend myself when I'm wrongly accused. And I wonder sometimes if my innocence would better be proven if I would just keep my mouth shut. Or even not even worry about my innocence at all, but just keep my mouth shut, instead of worrying about my defense and my reputation. The second thing I pointed out too is that mutual hate can make enemies. That it's better to believe the best in someone than assume the worst. And I think that's what happened between Herod and Pilate. They were enemies. But it's amazing what a common cause can do, isn't it? That you just rally around. And that's really what happened with the mob, with the crowd. That's what happened. They just all kind of just took over and assumed the wrong position and never defended Jesus. And then there at the end, after all that he had done, for Jesus had done for everyone, there wasn't a person at all to defend him. And it just made me think, even in a crowd where everyone is doing wrong, can I please be caught up in doing right? Even if it means that perhaps I'm judged or ostracized or ridiculed. But there had to be someone in the crowd that heard all of the wrong accusations and could have stood up for Jesus. Not that it would have made a difference. He was born to die. This was his plan. But there's not a voice that stood up. And so, just those 3 points there, it's just better to believe the worst, believe the best, than assume the worst. And, sometimes silence is okay. We don't have to defend ourselves. And then, of course, stand up for what is right, even if it's not popular. And that's just what I had to say. I have a special video that I'm going to be putting out on Saturday that I want everybody to tune into. It has a lot to do with our study next year. And so I would love it if you would tune in so you'll really kind of know what's going on and get a idea of where my head is and where my heart is on our upcoming year and our upcoming study. I look forward to that, and I will see you. I may not be on Monday. It depends on my weekend and how I get home and can get settled back in. So don't be surprised if we don't have a video on Monday, because there's not one to pull from last year. Last year's was on a weekend. So just grant me grace there, and I know you will. You always do. But it just depends on how my weekend goes, if I'm able to get a video for Monday. But if not, I will definitely see you Tuesday, God willing, face to face.